say that the jam thing irritates me, though, because the jam thing is that we've been told there's an opportunity for Britons to sell jam to Europe.
Yes.
That's a big opportunity, right? And all the Twitter comments were trying to sell jam to the French, all the French provide all of that. But they do, but we make really good jam. We make really, really good jam. And I hate this thing.
Doing down the country.
Yeah. No, whereby everything that comes from France is more sophisticated. Their jam just comes from a big jam factory near Marseille. I mean, when I was a kid, we all thought ski yoghurt was incredibly sophisticated. It was made in Swansea.
When you started that, I thought, where's he going with this? And it's just like, oh, he just loves jam.
The last great innovation in jam was washing out the jars and serving cocktails in them to twats in bars.
French jam is really complicated. I mean, it's not good because you go to Waitrose...
Jesus Christ.
You just want a jar of raspberry jam. Can you find it? You can find framboise. What the fuck is that?
I never expected jam to turn you into Nigel Farage.
What I'm after is the freedom to boil our own fruit with sugar.
Hugh,
Yes.
if you feel this way, you should join the Conservative Party.
And that's why I love you.
Who made a typically colourful speech at the conference?
Boris Johnson. Sorry, Hugh, you had your hand up.
No, I was going to say Boris Johnson, but...
we should have said it at the same time.
Yeah. Sarah, it's normally Hugh's job to do the right answers, and I just feel like
Someone would have been, yeah.
Be as funny as you want, but the right answer, that's Hugh's.
Honestly, I've got two jobs. I get the right answer, and on occasion, I talk about jam.
Who made a typically colourful speech at the conference?
Can I just ask one question?
Oh, my God.
Is it how
Why
they get the little
isn't
safety thing to go down?
Why isn't there orange jam?
Marmalade is...
No, that's not jam. That's got bits in.
Yeah, I'm happy to move on as well. And I'll give you a clue. The answer is Boris Johnson. Who?
It was Boris Johnson.
Shut up, I have to ask the question first. Let's stick to the conventions of normal language. Who made a typically colourful speech at the conference?
Was it Hugh about jam?
We once had a badger run over outside the house.
You had him run over?
No,
What kind of...
There was a badger.
What kind of butler have you got?
A badger
Have
was...
him run over for me. We shall sit in a throne and watch this.
You're like the godfather of the vermin world.
A badger was run over outside the house, and my parents were staying, and this badger obviously had to be killed, put down, to put it out of its pain. And all my father could find was a big stick. So he went outside and he had to hit the badger repeatedly with this big stick. And this is remembered by my son, because it was explained to him like this, as the time Grandad made the badger better with the stick.
Are you sure that's actually what happened?
At the point the badger has been run over, and then this old guy comes up and tries to finish it off with a stick.
It freaks my dad out, actually, thinking about it. It's horrible.
Your dad gets badger flashbacks.
Just big black and white and white and black and black and white and claw, and then red! Black, white, red all over.
Turn off Wind in the Willows! Turn off Wind in the Willows!
I've actually eaten dead badger roadkill.
Have you? Really?
Yeah, Shall I tell you what it tasted of?
What's the taste of?
Badger. No, I have. I had a meal of badger. I had otter in a meal called risotto. And I had blackbird, rather, in a pie.
Oh, God.
It was really nice.
Is this when you were working in nursery rhymes?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I did for a programme.
What programme was that? Let's make you eat weird shit.
It was a programme where you had to do things that you'd never done, and I said I'd never had roadkill, so I ate roadkill.
But hang on, is it, I know the programme you mean. It's a programme where you're supposed to do things you've never done that other people have done, though. It was called Never Seen Star Wars, and then you were just slightly out of step with the population. You're not out of step with the population with having never eaten roadkill. I don't think that's what, he's never eaten roadkill. What kind of Lord Snooty over here? fished his dinner off the tarmac once in a while.
He's just been very... No, it was nice.
Is it, in the original script, how many times did you have to say Candyman before he appeared?
Yeah.
If a minicab says that it's 5 minutes away, how minutes... Holy...
Oh!
Don't talk bad about Uber.
Well, here, the minicab industry has long fingers, isn't it? You won't learn that today.
Little bits of glass.
Well, from now on, I'm taking a black cab.
We'll just carry on. So easy for you to say. All right, OK.
We're being shelled here.
I thought it was
a single request to check the rest of the bulbs.
What was really weird was how loud that noise was, and yet the light stayed on for ages afterwards.
Is it
very far away?
Is it...
Nothing has fallen down. Nothing fell down.
No shattering of glass.
It was no glass.
Is it how many people are going to be sacked after that light explosion?
In this round, one of them takes on the role of a person in the news addressing the media, while the other translates what they really mean. Frankie, you are Conservative Party leader David Cameron making a speech. Hugh, you will tell us what he really means.
I am here to launch the Conservative Party manifesto, which is substantial.
A child's drawing of an oak tree and 300 blank pages.
First, let me refute a rumour. People say that I am posh.
I am not. And you can ask my footman.
I believe that politics should be about more than style over substance. Admittedly, I did go to boarding school.
I was briefly gay.
But Eton is a school with great tradition.
The weakest child in every year is sacrificed in the school pyramid to appease the god Imhotep.
The world needs to form a coherent plan to deal with global warming.
I've got a little windmill on my roof.
I want to reach out to ethnic minorities in Britain.
Give them a fiver and say, would you do my garden?
Well done, Hugh and Frankie! Frankie, you are Prince Charles making a New Year address to the nation. Hugh, you will tell us what he really means.
My loyal subjects.
My homies.
My bitches.
I'm proud to say that Harry will be serving in Iraq. I'm sure that he will find a useful role to play.
3 miles behind the other troops, in a sealed titanium war bubble.
I do hope that he doesn't get shot.
How will I break the news to his father?
William, meanwhile, seems to have found a girl that he's in love with.
So now he can marry someone else and keep her as his bit on the side.
Tabloids are desperate to get hold of saucy pictures of Kate.
I've got some.
It was good to see Helen Mirren winning a Golden Globe. I thought she did a wonderful performance as my mother.
I've been having some very confusing dreams.
I took Camilla to India recently, and the locals who saw us were amazed.
He thought, blimey, Diana's let herself go a bit.
Surely it is now time that Diana was laid to rest.
After all, it's nearly 10 years since we had her killed.
My sons were both very upset at the time.
He kept on asking why I smelt of brake fluid.
Well done to Hugh and Frankie. The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Greg. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Greg delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage while Hugh translates what they really mean. Greg, you are American presidential candidate Barack Obama.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Luther, Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, what's wrong with
No, Martin Luther King is fine. It was Luther.
I love the idea your brain's just going, I can offer you the word tangerine, that is it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Lincoln, Kennedy, Luther King.
I'm going to be assassinated.
Hillary is a wonderful politician, and I'm delighted to have her continued support. Loser! Loser! George Bush has been giving me some tips.
He still thinks I'm the valet. He parks his car.
I have the greatest of respect for all of Senator McCain's achievements.
Oven chips.
I will, of course... I'm sorry, I'm starting to sound like some sort of soul singer now. Yeah, we got it together, didn't we, babe?
There's just a small note from the desk that I get into my ear. Frankie, Hugh, just a tiny editorial tweak. If we could have stuff which we actually can broadcast.
Nobody mentioned that.
About 10 years ago, I switched on the Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Wow!
And because I've been rude.
There are Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Yeah. Were you asked to do this?
Yeah, because
He's again! We had Bruce Willis!
We've been rude about Kidderminster on television. Got a letter from the Kidderminster Tourist Board or whatever saying, would you come and switch on the Christmas lights? So you think, oh, that'd be great, I'd love to do that. But you don't actually do it. Because what they do is they give you one of those enormous pretend switches, right? And you have to kind of go like this on a balcony to a crowd below, and you kind of go, oh, I'm going to press the thing now. And you press it, and as you press it, a bloke in a room behind turns on a switch. So you're not doing it.
So hang on a minute, so that bloke's going to be me. I'm going to be the
Right. So you were asked to do it because you were rude about
Because I was rude about Kidderminster. I also did a joke once about Wolverhampton and got invited on a tour of Wolverhampton.
I'm thinking bigger than that. If I slag off Jessica Alba, do I get a tour of Jessica Alba?
Well, apparently Bristol wanted to have Bruce Willis switching on their lights, but then they remembered that he tends to get into a lot of trouble around Christmas time.
Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage while his name isn't you. Hugh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Can't believe you flinched then. I wasn't going to hurt you.
You could have. Hugh and Russell, would you make your way to the press pit, please? Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage while Hugh translates what they really mean. This week, Russell is Prince Charles.
My loyal subjects.
I know. One can dream.
My mother asked me to give the Christmas speech this year.
I think that's what she said, but the pillow was muffling her voice.
I'm going to talk about the things that really matter to the British people.
Architecture, polo, and cars that run on cheese.
Season's greetings from Sandringham. The royal family always feel at home in Norfolk.
We're poorly educated inbreds. We enjoy torturing animals.
Yesterday we played golf all afternoon. Andrew shot 2 birdies and an albatross.
And my father shot a fox, 2 dogs, and a teenage criminal from King's Lynn.
I've come up with an exciting new initiative.
These aren't just biscuits. These are Dutchy original biscuits.
Speaking of which, we still need to work on our ginger nuts.
Prince Harry, as we call him.
It's really It's really wonderful to see... Sorry, wrong voice. Let's do it again. Merry Christmas.
Is that your Nick Griffin impression?
It's really wonderful to see the kind of man William has grown into.
A toothy, bald man.
Wills has the charisma, charm, and media skills that made his mother an icon.
And Harry has the personality, courage, and ginger hair that made his father a major in the British Army.
My father is 89, and I can assure you his health is as rude as ever.
Only this morning he said, "Merry Christmas, you jug-eared tit."
Well done, Hugh and Russell.
George Michael is going on holiday.
There's a bloke on the ladder saying it's going to be hilarious when he gets out for his morning walk.
Has a helpful passerby gone back a bit, back a bit, back a bit?
Has Vanessa Feltz overestimated the effectiveness of her gastric band on the dirty weekend at work?
Is the bloke on the left-hand side on the ladder, is he trying to work out how to clamp it? Is that...
Is it that fireman on the ladder saying, "Oh, sure, there's meant to be a caravan round here"?
Or are they going, "I'm really pitying the bloke on the chemical toilet"?
He may not have made it all the way up, but he did pretty well to drive it up that far, didn't he?
And you know what it actually is?
I think it's was it the Hampshire Police? Was it?
It is Hampshire, Hertfordshire and Merseyside Police.
Yeah, it had earthquake training.
They had earthquake training during the week,
That's
yes.
right. Which is completely ridiculous. They're training for something which will never, ever happen in Britain. The last earthquake we had, apparently, was in big one was 1931 in Lincolnshire, which measured 0.2 on the Richter scale, and the locals were delighted because all the cabbages seemed to have picked themselves.
It's incredible. There was one in 1931. It would measure 6.1 on the Richter scale.
Oh.
One woman died of a heart attack, and the head of the waxworks of Dr. Crippen fell off. That was the full extent of the damage caused by the last major earthquake.
Do you know, it's ridiculous. They might as well be training for an iceberg hitting Wolverhampton. There are things you need to worry about, but not that. The things we need to worry about a supervolcano. We need to worry about a meteorite strike, but you can't train for them because there's nothing you can do. The best you can hope for, really, is they happen on the same day and the meteorite falls into the volcano and plugs the hole.
There was only 3 police forces who did the training, so we've got to hope if there is an earthquake, it happens in either Merseyside, Hertfordshire or Hampshire. Otherwise, we're knackered.
It's not actually earthquake training. They're just calling it that because terrorist bomb training might be a bit of an alarmist thing to call it.
Would be a good point.
If they think it's terrorists, though, are they likely to attack members of the caravan club?
Hugh had his hands down his trousers and said to me, "I have to rearrange Mr. Dennis."
That's what I call my penis.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And he said to me, "Do you have to rearrange Mr. I said, "Not Mr. Dennis, no." Although it'll be a good new round.
I couldn't actually find Mr. Dennis.
Mr. Dennis is out to wonder, isn't he? He's getting
out to wonder, yeah.
Name 3 things Hugh Dennis hasn't done a voiceover for.
Let me just say this to you. Continental. They think that there's surveillance in all the rooms. They're being warned against it. Okay, imagine living a life where you're just watched and listened to.
Any of the correct answer, please?
Across the whole series, how many points am I ahead?
Because I think you'll find it here.
Does anyone have the actual correct answer?
It's how many Paralympic athletes are there in the GB team?
They're absolutely right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hugh.
Really good, really good.
Say this very quickly.
Go on. 265. Now, when you count that point.
I thought you just meant somebody else has just acquired a disability.
You just like, and then wheeled away.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're wearing a Team GB outfit. You're wheeling down. Yeah!
I ended up watching a lot of beach volleyball. I love the beach volleyball. not for the obvious...
Really?
Yeah, no, not for the obvious reason. The reason I love it is because after every point, whether they win or lose, whether it's good or bad, they hug each other. Everyone hugs after every single point. It's almost like they just really want to hug each other, and the sport is completely incidental.
Do you want Romesh to give you a hug when you get something right?
Russell delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure in the world stage, while Hugh translates what they really mean. This week, Russell is David Cameron.
Of course I am. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say that this coalition will be a partnership of equals.
White, no sugar, please, Nick.
I'm here to talk about real policies, not just popular slogans.
These aren't just policies. These are meticulously crafted, organic, deficit-cutting policies.
I'm afraid it's time for some unpleasant cuts.
There is no way I'm having another child.
The good news is we found oil just off the Falklands.
The bad news is it's drifted there from the Gulf of Mexico.
People say I'm just image, and you pulled that face over. People say I'm just image and spin, but you can see statesmanship written all over my face. It's important to stress I'm very familiar with the language and culture of young people.
What's up?
No, people say I can't relate to hoodies, but at school, I was a real tearaway.
Yes, there was that time we spooned quints into matrons' loafers.
In fact, no, I'm not proud to say it, I was once a gang member.
Yes, no one messed with the Eton choristers.
I stopped doing that. Having visited America recently, I must say I've never met anyone like Barack Obama before.
Well, I have, but normally they're wearing white gloves and serving me G&T. What do you need, a lectern? I don't understand that. You could do it with a bit of paper. If she's got a lectern, it always makes you think she's going to make an announcement with a glove puppet. Making an important policy announcement.
Every time...
Here to help me is Monkey.
Every time you see something behind a lectern, you think, what university did you go to exactly?
Sooty University.
Yeah, Sooty University.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it really was, yeah. Cambridge. Oh, are you also the head of Kaya's College or whatever?
I think you'll find it's pronounced Keys. I'm terribly sorry. I just couldn't let that one go. The Trojans had been fooled by a wooden horse. They would never bet on the Grand National again. Henry VIII liked his wives to be athletic, and that was her downfall. She wouldn't run, she wouldn't walk. She would simply Anne Boleyn.
Rory, you are Prince Charles giving a speech on the occasion of his mother's birthday. Hugh, tell us what he's really saying. Take it away.
Hello, Mummy. Gosh, you look so well.
Blast.
A little birdie tells me...
It's all over the newspapers.
Today is a very special day.
You're still alive.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know why you do it.
You just seem to go on and on.
And on and on. And on.
I'm sure I speak for the rest of the family when I say... It's very good. That's it.
Thank you very much.
What do you do?
I make organic biscuits.
Oh, wonderful. Marvellous, that's true. So I've lost the thread now. Anyway, we hope you have a lovely day. Looking forward to the 21-gun salute.
They're loaded.
Reverend Rory and you. Very good. That's it. The point for both of you in that stage. Frankie, this week, you are soccer superstar David Beckham introducing himself to the many fans of LA Galaxy. Hugh will tell us what he really means.
I'm glad to have this opportunity to let you know what I'm thinking. It's great to have left Real Madrid.
I hate Poland.
I've bought a house in LA, right by the big Hollywood sign.
I'd love to know what it says.
Brooklyn has settled in well at an American school.
He shot someone.
My wife knows how much I love her.
I sent her a text by mistake.
I was surprised to learn that I was wanted by Scientology.
I didn't know they had a team.
Tom Cruise's wife, Katie, is always advising us to hire more staff.
She keeps sending me notes saying, get help.
Very good. Well done to both of them. What is Trump allegedly put on hold?
His trip to London.
His trip to London!
Little trip to London.
Typical liberal BBC audience.
What were you worried about, mate? They're clapping you right now.
Yeah. It's a bit sort of weird, isn't it? Is this the man who said he would take on ISIS is not coming because he's scared of a few Guardian readers with placards?
He's made a huge mistake as well. He's named the new British ambassador from the US is called Woody Johnson, who is perhaps the most American-named man of all time. You may as well have just got the new ambassador is called Hamburger Gun.
The name Woody Johnson is essentially penis.
Yeah.
Oh, double dick rolling into town. Oh, wait, double dick's running late again.
Always keeps you waiting, does double dick. The most American man I've ever met was a man who was called Randy Yanker. Genuinely called Randy Yanker.
People don't know this, but Hugh used to be a porn star.
It was used to be. Yeah. It was Hugh Dennis, wasn't that the...
You know what? This is a job for Hugh Dennis.
That's right. Yeah. And Dennis is a slight misspelling.
Yeah.
In the light of Tory party manoeuvrings this week on the leadership, Rory, you are Michael Howard, presenting his plans to stand aside as leader of the Conservatives. Hugh, tell us what he's really saying.
At the last election, we had a remarkable result.
We lost.
It was a tremendous achievement.
We lost really badly.
But there's still a lot of work to be done.
Bye then.
I'm much too old to lead the Conservative Party.
Kenneth Clarke is much too old to lead the Conservative Party.
I've laid out a sensible time frame for my departure.
I must be back before sunrise.
We all know that there were problems with the previous system of selection for the leader.
Ian Duncan Smith.
This time, I hope we'll have a free and a fair fight.
I'll stop David Davis if it kills me.
We need to focus on our core priorities.
Can anyone remember our core priorities?
And then we'll be able to go forward, unite around a new leader, and triumph at the next election.
Not even I'm thinking what he's thinking.
Very good. This round is called Dating Videos. The players take on the identity of a famous newsmaker and record a Lonely Hearts video in the style of that person. Everyone else has to try and guess who they are. So Hugh, you're up first. Please make your way over to the performance area and show us your dating video.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. I do eventually hope to be able to count higher than that. Let me paint you a picture of myself. I can do that. I've got an art A-level. Well, I'm a pretty cool guy. I don't smoke. Well, you know, nothing legal anyway. I support charities. I like to wear a wristband. Oh no, I'd like to wear an armband. Make minorities history. And I'm a redhead, which I get from my father, apparently.
Who is it?
Oh, Prince Harry.
It is, of course, Prince Harry. Well done, Hugh. Sit down. Congratulations. First subject is climate change. Hugh's in like a shot.
The problem with climate is that we're ruining the environment. You know, every year we destroy an area of rainforest the size of Belgium. Why not just destroy Belgium? No one would mind. We're desperate to find an alternative to oil. Wind is one, but what worries me about wind power is that if you cover Britain with 400,000 wind turbines, right, on a windy day, what's to stop the whole country taking off? like an enormous hovercraft and heading for France. That is European unification by the back door.
Jacques Chirac, Europe, let's say. Hugh, do you want to go first?
Britain isn't getting on very well with France at the moment, and it is partially because the French are a bit snooty. For example, take Concorde. Do you know, in the original version of Concorde, the French had their plane built with the front hinged the other way round, so it could turn its nose up when it landed on the But the kind of European integration we don't, any of us seem to mind, is town twinning. Everybody wants a French, you know, town to twin with. And I didn't know how it happened, actually, until I recently went to Swindon. Met a bloke from Swindon Council. He told me that apparently it's very like getting a teenage pen pal, on the basis that Swindon was getting on very well with Monte Carlo until they sent them a photograph and never heard from them again.
That would be congestion, traffic, crisis on the roads, basically. Hugh's in.
There is a crisis on Britain's roads, and part of it is speed cameras. You see, speed cameras don't even make cars go slower, and the problem is they're all stick and no carrot. What happens at the moment is you go through a speed camera above the speed limit, flash goes off, you get a fine. Now, where's the reward in that? What you want to happen is you go through a speed camera under the speed limit, flash goes off. 3 weeks later, you get a nice photo in a frame with a thank you letter and a book token.
You are the former Lib Dem leader Charles Kennedy giving his resignation speech.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Can I first of all say how good it is to see so many of you here today?
I can't see any of you here today.
But I think it's a great thing that so many of you come here on such an important occasion.
You bastards.
As you know, I've got a few things I'd like to get off my chest.
My name is Charles, and I am an alcoholic.
As I've said before, we've had a great year, and I think we've now got as many as 62 Liberal Democrat MPs.
It's probably 31, and I'm seeing double.
And that's why I've taken the very difficult decision that I should go.
That is why they have taken the very difficult decision that I should go.
Having said that, I think it's very important that the decision as to a future leader should go to as many people as possible in the wider party.
Stop Ming. Stop Ming!
Well, having said that, I think any of the candidates would make an excellent leader.
Stop Ming!
In conclusion, could I just say I think the Liberal Democrats are in a healthy state. I think we can go on, place ourselves strategically in a good position and go on from strength to strength and learn from this.
I love you.
Well done, Jimbo. Our next round is called Dating Videos. The players take on the identity of a famous newsmaker and record a Lonely Hearts video in the style of that person. Everyone else has to try and guess who they are. So, Hugh, you're up first. Please, can you take your position in the performance area? Let's see your dating video.
Hi. I've got a confession to make. I've been looking for a man for a while now, but you know how it is.
There's no way I can keep that up. I've been looking for a man for some time now, but you know how it is. There's always something wrong. Everyone I pick seems to be on the sex offenders register. I've got to go now. I'm giving a job interview to Dara's old teacher, Father Glitter. Give me a ring sometime. From next week, I'll probably be at my home number.
Any guesses who it is?
Is it Dame Margot Fontaine?
It started out as Margot Fontaine, yeah.
Ruth Kelly?
It's Ruth Kelly, all right. Well done, Ruth Kelly. What has Work and Pension Secretary Ian Duncan-Smith been calling for this week?
He has said, Ian Duncan-Smith has called on British bosses to employ more British people. And the British bosses have said that they can't do that because foreign workers work much more efficiently and the British have lost their work ethic. And that's as much as I'm going to say, unless I'm on double time. And I get another tea break.
Well, as a foreigner, I'll pick up the slack then, won't I? Yeah. Who's the kingmaker in parking in this country?
Is it NCP?
No, it's not NCP. Who's the one single individual who wields more power over parking in this country than anyone else?
Boris Johnson.
No. It is, according to Parking Review, it's Hugh Dennis.
Yeah.
This magazine, which was sent to me anonymously, our Parking Review, features 10 separate photographs of Hugh Dennis on its pages at the moment.
Yeah, I did the National Parking Awards.
Who wins a National Parking Award?
They did Best Multi-Story. That was in there. Have you not done the National Parking Awards?
I've not done the National Parking Awards, and I didn't know that this was a bonus of it. I'm going to seek out the National Parking Awards.
So, sorry, when you say parking, do you mean, like, in a car, reversing into a slot? Yeah, is that your talk? Right, OK.
Yeah. They had awards, and Hugh handed them out.
I handed them out, yeah. Well, I gave them all tickets, to be honest. I did.
I get a feeling Hugh's not enjoying this.
Shawty. Sepp Blatter.
I am parking review man. Where's my check?
CEPL stand for?
Is it just a description of what he's like? Is it conservative, Etonian, posh, la-di-da?
Is it crap Elvis prowls London?
Is it the essential conundrum that is Cameron, cyclist employs private limo driver?
Is it Cameron employed in parking lot?
Well, it's close. Mine was slightly more sinister. Mine was going to be, he started a new car wash and he's going, clean everything, Polish lad.
All this idea about confiscating mobile phones and bikes. How about confiscating knives and guns? What's the worst you can do with a bike and a phone? A ride by texting.
Even if we got teenagers' mobile phones, we wouldn't even be able to understand what they're texting to each other. It'd be like a Clockwork Orange or something. Are you slipping my Grubel, Terry? I should fro-fo.
I think what the text will end up saying over the coming months is, you're not going to believe this, Dave, a Tory politician has just tried to mug me for my phone.
I now have his phone. Ha, 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 ha. LOL, epic fail.
They're doing it, this is the funniest thing, they're doing it to stop graffiti. Now, some graffiti's amazing, isn't it? I was driving along the other day, there was a big sign that said stop, and underneath somebody had written hammer time. Now, you do not confiscate someone's phone if they don't have that.
I'm all for confiscating bikes, though, because I've only ever been beaten up once in my life, and it was by kids on bikes when I was 10. And it was when I learnt a very, very valuable lesson in life. I was playing cricket in a local park, right, and these kids on bikes came swooping down the hill, and they nicked the stumps that we were playing with, right? And this was where I learnt my valuable lesson, which was, don't try and do voices. Because instead of saying to these kids, excuse me, can you give me my stump back? What I actually said to them, and I've no idea to this day why I said it, I said, excuse me, would you mind handing me back my stumps? And what they did was they beat me round the head with the stump.
You got them back,
Wait a minute, Hugh. This taught you not to do voices. You've done every third voiceover I've ever heard. You're the voice of Findus Crispy Pancakes at the minute.